driving back the Solarian interceptor forces, we took to the floating continent, Mahanon. It was the central hull of a colossal spacecraft with a diameter of at least 40 kelts.
I'm sure that means something.
The Eldridge.
Yeah, made up
This, judging from the condition of the hull, we estimated the ship was thousands of years old.
Probably dangerous to go inside.
Let's go inside.
We don't have a choice. It was determined by examining the inside of the wreckage that some kind of accident occurred on this ship about 10,000 years ago, which forced it to crash onto our planet. Doesn't that sound familiar? Even this locale actually sounds familiar. Alien beings that came to our planet from a far-off galaxy eons ago. Could it possibly have been that our ancestors were the passengers of this ship and that crash landed here on this planet?
But that would mean we all really are humans then.
Seeking God and His divine wisdom, Razel's tree, which it said lie here in Mahanon, we proceeded further. Wait, no, there's a jump cut because I need to decide which party to compose.
I thought the game glitched.
And inside, there's this thing.
Oh my.
In the depths we saw an alien form. It was partially rotted and petrified, a giant grotesque being.
What, the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles design?
It gave off an inexplicable air of intimidation. Perhaps it was more than a gut reaction. Perhaps it was the fear of the absolute that came from the very depths of our inherited instincts.
Genova Absolute, of course!
And we have a boss fight against this thing. The AI machine, Deus.
Oh, isn't it adorable?
No, just
not really.
Kill it. But yeah, here's the gimmick. This thing has a lot of HPs, but like kind of an idiot, probably because in its rotted state, it decides to spam this kind of attack that halves the HP of everyone in the room, including itself. Meaning that, it basically, Deus does the job mostly for you. So it's just a matter of waiting until the HP are reduced to, like, say, 5,000, and then you can go all out. Otherwise, you can just replenish your HP by using the fixed frame option.
Not too hard to fight. Got it.
It's actually very easy. Actually, one of the easiest in the entire game.
But yes, doesn't this ship seem familiar?
I mean, to be fair, it's about time we start to finally get some answer what's going on. But mind you, this is, again, like I said, we are only now getting into it. For a more detailed explanation, we have to wait just a bit more.
I'm starting to get the idea that despite them not thinking themselves human, they actually are human, just descendants of humans.
Well, again, like I said, Jova, as I repeated multiple times, it's never this easy. I cannot actually, promise you that the explanation will satisfy you, but I can tell you it's very original in what they did.
Yeah, I won't ask you what your thoughts were on it. I guess I'll just form my own.
Well, I can easily tell those when the time comes.
That said, I do definitely get the feeling of regret that they didn't get to flesh out more because, again, this is technically what the game has probably been building up to since literally that opening cutscene, and well, given how it has to be presented, I can get how the creator would have been disappointed that it had to have been done like that. It's like if you're making a story for a roleplay group you're in, but because your story is taking too long, you end up having to rush it near the end. And yeah.
I can give you a better one. While mind you, for completely different reasons. The idea of part of the content being short, which makes the explanation towards the end, potentially not as fulfilling as it was, parallels a bit what will happen later with Metal Gear Solid 5 and Hideo Kojima.
Oh, boy.
He kinda had a particular story that he wanted to tell with that game, but because of Konami and the costs involved in making that game, they essentially had to cut away most of the second half.
It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, because the game just ends.
You know, it's kind of amazing that Konami didn't go to the lowest common denominator and actually tried to sell all that leftover leaked data that was found as, Metal Gear Solid 5, Act 3.
You know what's the sad part? You know what's the sad part about that is that the reason they did that is because in between 4 and 5 there was a rise of mobile gaming going on and stuff like that. And the fact and they were and the thing is, while Metal Gear Solid 4 sold really great, it didn't sell as well as 1 and 2. However, so by the time they got around to 5, they were all like, you know what, mobile is the future, so we don't want you to spend too much money and too much time on this, like and everything. But then the ironic thing happened. MGS5 came out, and it became the highest selling game of the entire franchise. So, oops.
Let me put it like this. I feel like a lot of companies had the wrong idea when they thought mobile was going to be the future. Don't get me wrong. There are some pretty prominent mobile games here and there. However, they are not to the point where they're going to replace console gaming like a lot of companies thought back then. And as a result, a lot of franchises suffered for it. And a lot of companies ended up with egg on their faces, Konami being chief among them.
Alright, we're done.
Go to sleep now, child.
It has kind of a slight desperation attack, but doesn't do jack, basically.
That's
was it
okay,
gonna blow
Marie
up?
still has 1
No,
HP left.
It just really reduces the HP to 1 of your allies to 1, which you don't really need at this point.
Because you pretty much
So-
can heal right after the battle.
That was the ultimate power?
The ultimate life form, you say? Or the prototype?
Is that what Chaos Control is?
It's an alpha stage at best.
The partially routed thing eventually self-disintegrated. We proceeded even further.
And I tripped over a rock.
We don't have our FMV, actually. Like I said, we actually have the smart idea to have the actual CGI FMV only for when one of the gear is on screen.
I guess if ever there's a handy time to use
The
them as well, it is
radio
definitely
central.
this disc.
We came to an enormous cavern that was big enough to swallow the whole capital of Ave. In its center were 2 gently glowing objects.
Or half of them, from the look of it.
It was the source of divine wisdom. It was Razel's tree. So, how to get data from these?
Just
Anyone
get
got a
USB
giant
stick.
jump drive?
I got a USB stick.
But where do we plug it in?
Well,
Anywhere.
And the cavern itself was a giant computer called Razel.
This
Yeah.
seems a bit counterproductive
Got
to
that.
make a computer that gigantic.
Unless the ship in itself was even bigger than that.
Yeah, where's the monitor? Like, or any kind of user interface.
You asked for a monitor, Dweebs? The wisdom of God, hidden within Razel. We found the unthinkable when we accessed its data.
It
Oh
uses
my
Linux?
God.
No!
A large, unmanned strategic weapon in its battalion of terminal interface weapons, traveling from star system to star system, and a gargantuan mothership used to carry them.
What, like a living virus or something?
More like bioweapon, the creation of a Malak angel, God's army to reign over the vast universe with, and the construction of a divine ark.
What, so like to hold all of humanity aboard it?
These weapons were called Yabe, The interplanetary invasion weapon system.
It's funny because Yabe, without the H, is Japanese for crap.
What the Gazelle Ministry was pursuing was right here.
And we found it before them.
According to the data, the giant, rotting organism we just defeated was in fact the nucleus of this system. We were on the verge of accessing the data for the object called Zohar. The central neural circuit and power source controlling the entire system from the weapons to the mothership.
Oh.
When suddenly he appeared.
Ah, the hidden data from Razel's tree. Move away from there.
No.
This matter is far too weighty for the likes of you. Weighty?
We were so close.
We must protect it with our lives. We can't let them have the Razel's data.
I don't even know what the Razel data is
You
yet.
handle them. I'll try and extract as much data as I am able to.
I'm counting on you, Cheetan.
If anything goes wrong, I will destroy this place.
What? We must inside it!
Now
Yes.
we have to fight the Graph in his now fully operational
It's all-
Omni-Gear.
Well, I mean, it's up to you guys to leave in time then. I
The
don't know.
true Veltal. This is a fight that you're normally supposed to lose. If you can win, you get essentially possibly the best field armor in the game. But yeah, true Veltal starts literally Boris dancing on your face. But
What?
I did try just for the kings, but unfortunately I couldn't already tell you. It requires kind of a specific strategy in order to defeat, mostly relying also on hoping that Bart's Wild Smile, if you have him with you, manages to connect properly and, manages to lower enough the accuracy so that Graph cannot deal as much damage as he normally does. But again, it's more of a not necessarily luck-based, but you need to make your moves work right at the right moment. Mind you, like I said, it's mostly just for bragging rights more than anything, because if you win, it's more of another case of Graph telling you in your face, oh, you're very scratchy or something like that.
No, so that's a fact. It doesn't change the plot or anything.
No. Well, it makes more sense for plot-wise for the fact that Graph has to mop the floor with you. So there is that.
Let me guess, he's pissed because it ain't really going with his planned schedule.
We will learn more about Graph also, if I recall correctly, in the next part. Either in the next part or the one after.
It works better in that way because remember, in Fair Friends F, when you win one of these battles, the game will just go on as if that you still lost anyway. So so if anything, usually these battles are better to just let yourself get killed anyway.
I tell you, I am never really a fan of a game having you win a boss fight, having the boss appear defeated with a cutscene. With a defeat animation, only for literally the next cutscene to act like you lost.
Man, you are gonna hate Xenoblade too.
You should. Deji, you should have seen Jova on our 13-2 run, where he says, and I quote, "It makes little to no sense to have your reward for beating the superpowered ultra boss just failure." And I told him very well, and me and Teo, Jova, this is Final Fantasy 14-2. No matter what you do, you will always fail. You will always come out a loser.
That's the biggest gripe that I have with the game. I could tolerate potential bullshit and everything, but telling me in my face that all my struggles were in vain no matter what I did was the worst offense that the game could give to me.
And Jova even got angry, saying, "Never. I refuse to give into this game on those grounds."
Hey, what are you doing outside your gear?
I guess that's all you can take for now. Are you frustrated?
I won the match, but I got a cramp.
That
That's why
is
I'm down.
only natural. After all, you are imperfect.
Hey, now that he's out of it, can we just kick him in the shins and run?
Imperfect.
And you are Mr. Perfection, I'm
Yes,
guessing.
you're lacking now. The absence of wrath is an impediment to your utilizing your true strength. Wrath,
Oh boy.
the drive to massacre and annihilate, the compulsion to destroy your opponent. Such wrath is power for the soul, By eliminating your foe, you attain your first sublimation of that drive. It is this very sublimation that draws out the hidden powers within yourself, but clinging to reason, suppressing your wanton desire makes releasing your true power a dream within a dream for you.
So murder's a drug is what you're
You already
saying?
noticed, when wrath appeared in your heart, the machine responded,
That's a
did
bit-
it not?
This is he's basically saying that being a psychopath is the bee's knees.
What
Yeah,
you
but
of the
basically.
traveling machine was truly drive your soul. It was your eat.
See
The
what we
sign
did there?
of the purpose you've been seeking, the mark of a natural born assassin. You're wrong. That's absolutely untrue. I'm not it.
And then Graf takes off his mask and reveals that he's also
time
Fae as
is
well.
come. I'll take your soul and draw its power out to the limit.
Your soul is mine. Enough!
Huh? What are you stopping me for?
Your incredibly complex plan is about to be interrupted by
Is
my
it?
incredibly complex plan.
If you kill the bait, the precious bird we wish to capture will fly away. It's an analogy, by the way. You know, a very important bird needed to fulfill my earnest desire. You understand, don't you, Lacan?
Dun, dun,
I read that as
dun.
Lucas for some reason.
Suit yourself.
Oh,
We
can I cut
shall
off his finger at least?
We shall crucify them.
Because of course.
In the land of Golgotha, to the west of here. They collect all the broken gears.
I thought he was about to say Gungala.
No. It's it's another reference to the Bible again. But in this, I think it's Yushiroi. I forgot this part. Sorry. Well, I think it's automated. So just in case, Pedro take over.
I was gonna
The
ask him
others
to
arrived
take
at the
over
deepest
anyway.
part of Mahanon. I was looking after the newly mutating people, and he said, "Yeah, it's
sure?
Elly." Yeah. People mutating, one after the other.
Not exactly good looking.
But also they have yogurt cut all over them.
They just need a bath. Well, I'm not cleaning this up.
Like some eternal nightmare that made me wonder just how long we would have to keep on nursing them.
Hi. You okay? You haven't had any rest, have you? I can handle things on my own for a while. Why don't you go out for a walk?
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
And I'll be right.
Still don't know why only us have not been affected.
I'd rather keep busy so that I won't worry about things too much.
Plot armor, Jova. Kinda.
Oh, so there's no story explanation for it.
Is that it?
It's more hand wave than anything. Someone, I can tell you that someone like Margie did not read that an excuse.
Hey! Elly, what's that?
She referring to the pendant.
This?
Yes, your chest. I meant the thing around your chest. Can I see it? Just as I thought. It's the pendant of Nissan. But why do you have it, Elly?
Faye had it, but for some reason he had it when he came to Lan.
It's Faye's. I'm holding on to it for him, but
You're an anime character, which means you two have some kind of thing. I know my
A
anime
connection
logic.
of a sort.
it feels as if I have always worn it, or that means somebody's about to die a horrific death.
So have you bought it from the same shop? Or,
I see you guys really did make up in that room.
When you wear that, you look even more like Sophia.
I'm pretty sure
You
these two
are-
specifically had a conversation about that already, Jova.
Yep.
Really? Flattery won't get you anything, you know.
You
Just as I was trying
are
to flatter you.
Jesus. You are
so-
Jesus.
So, okay, so Ellie is the opposite of Eric Gregson Williams.
Yeah.
Anyway, we need to hurry up and taste the new mutation suppressant. Assembler on those other people there.
I don't want to test. I don't want to taste the assembler. I want to test it.
That's what I said.
No, you said taste.
I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No,
Hey,
it's all in
listen,
your
like
head.
what you want to snack on is none of my business.
However, this is where she feels something.
A disturbance in the force.
Specifically dependent.
What, I guess the pendant explodes.
No, thankfully
It's the
not.
monster reborn.
Oh no, something has happened to Faye and the others.
You a bad enough girl to rescue them?
Why is there a dash in between the O and the no?
It's like an immediate explanation.
Oh no!
Like an
Oh
exclamation.
no!
Yeah,
Oh no!
Oh
like
no!
that.
Oh no, oh no. There's a...
Yeah, oh no, the musical starring Buckles.
Overcome by indescribable fear, I decided to send to Shavat, or whatever, Richard. Awaiting me, there was transmission from Krellian. He told me that if I wanted to save Faye and the others, I would have to come to
Golgotha.
Krellian wanted me?
Don't
Yeah.
do it, Elly!
my.
It's all a trap!
In order to save Faye and my other friends, I departed in the last Omni gear left, remaining in Shevat. My previous fear of riding in this machine was surmounted by my desire to rescue the people dear to me. Also, please stop swinging the pendant behind the text.
You're getting
Just-
very
Stop it.
sweet.
Just
Try to read.
hypnotize you.
Look. Oh well. If only I could afford spell checking
Ah, yes.
during this localization, but I can't because I don't have any.
Are you serious about going it alone?
Look, everybody else quit.
Take
Go
over,
on.
Pedro.
Krellian told me to come by myself.
So yeah, this is
Yeah.
also... Hold on, sorry.
I can't afford to break the agreement.
Ellie has one last talk also with the Gambler Goobers before going.
Okay, Ellie, you're failing one rule of the stage, having your back on the audience.
So please, stay behind and protect everyone here.
It's you, Pedro, if you forgot.
It's a trap!
Yeah.
I know.
He probably
Going
won't
anyway.
even honor his deal.
It's like in
Good
Star Trek, I was
boy.
always in the stress call.
Why though?
If I do not go, Faye and them will be executed for sure.
So maybe there'll
Hey,
be a
that
chance.
has a name.
Wait a minute. You're telling me that Shitan didn't have a super duper backup plan for this one?
Lauren isn't concerned with anyone else but me. Look,
Yeah,
even
well,
I
no, it's the-
look, even I have my limits, okay?
That's a surprise. So what makes you think he's going to hold his part of the bargain? Do you have any
I don't
way
know.
of knowing that you will definitely save your friends by doing this?
No.
I don't like those odds.
Shrug. That's a takeover since, she
Then
reported
it's suicide.
Even Vance has managed to get some sense in the meantime.
Might be. But I've made it this far because of Faye and the others.
Speaking of which, what happened to the elementals?
That
We will
pose, like,
see them again, don't
Okay.
worry.
Because they accepted me as their friend. Her pose, it sounds like she's putting her hands in her mouth.
Kinda. She's doing a prayer-like gesture, kinda like Princess Elisa.
If you go away, what about us? What about all the people who have assembled in Nissan that you leave behind? Everyone's depending on you for their spiritual support.
The people in Nissan will be fine. Come on,
Yes,
it's
they-
only they can be without me for a couple hours. Jeez.
They are in literal pain from their mutations.
I'm not their mom.
They can stand on their own feet without any support from me. This is also true of you all.
There's
right?
literally a lady whose legs are turning into dolphin
It's your music,
fins.
forgot.
But why do you do so much for him? He's a twat.
I don't know.
Oh, I
Wait, you
think
don't
we
know?
know that
Wait,
that's a
wait.
lie.
You don't know?
I'm pretty
I
sure.
get that
You don't know why you going.
I
I
wonder.
mean,
if-
I get that you don't want to tell him that you're in a relationship with him, but you could just say that he's your friend. That's
Oh
it.
boy.
I guess it's a woman's prerogative to be selfish.
Oh, Yamate. Ooh.
Good thing you're
What did I come back to?
Thanks, Dejimon.
All the stereotypes. Well, to be fair, the game itself is kind of baffled by that statement.
No, seriously, that's the first thing I hear when I put in my earphones.
I'm not a holy woman of any sort. I'm just a regular woman. But the thing,
You're full of
okay.
shit, Elly.
Yeah.
No, the sad part is that, remember, Takahashi didn't write this alone. He wrote it with his wife. So
Mind
apparently it was
you,
ro-
Mind you, I get what the game is trying to do. Is trying to say that Elly is not a saint and wants to do selfish reason. So I do wonder how much of this is genuinely one-to-one from the script, and how much of this was Richard interpreting putting it this way.
I'm sorry, something that heavy. I'm gonna assume that was still a thing from the original.
Not necessarily
as well.
heavy, Jova. The way it's expressed, similar. It's similar instead to how Final Fantasy VII Remake. Don't worry about this dialogue. I can sum up it with something important. It's similar to Final Fantasy VII Remake, Jova, to the idea of giving Aerith much of a brassier personality. Only in this case, it's kind of lampshading it to it. The idea that despite Elly having become the new messiah of the world, essentially, she still wants to do selfish reasons from time to time. The problem is just that we get that fucking line out of nowhere.
Okay,
which
look.
does stick out.
Okay. Given the nature of this localization, I'm not gonna throw Richard under the bus. I'm going to assume that was a thing from the original script still, because I'm not gonna act like the original creator has been flawless himself either with a lot of this stuff either. So, no, I'm gonna assume that it still came from the original script overall. Because okay, get down to this. What would even be the point of adding this localization was? Like, normally, when you see, like, something that's quite a leap and change from the localization, there's at least some about a reason to it. But adding in that bit about a woman's prerogative from the localization... For the sake of the localization would make no sense whatsoever, because it doesn't really change much about the scene to really mean anything more for us, so...
It is my prerogative as a woman to simply want to save the man that I love. Okay, that one's not too bad.
Yeah.
Even in general, you can interpret it as I want to be selfish for the sake of my partner, the person that I love.
And for the sake of making an argument for the other side, on the assumption that it was Richard, we can blame that line on Richard. Richard himself has said that he regrets a lot of the stuff from this localization. So, for all we know, maybe if we present him with this line, he probably would cringe and say, "Oh my God, I wish we could have done this better." So
He
I'm
probably never wants to see the script again.
Don't forget, Joel, that this kind of behavior is still present to this very day with stuff like Housing Fata Morgana and 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim.
Oh yeah,
I know
like,
I've been
and
joking
that,
about it so far. Sorry, go on.
that's the thing. Yeah, over in Japan, they can be pretty sexist, which is another reason why I kind
That's
of could
true.
see this being a thing more from the original script overall in that regard.
I get that. I just wanted to also portray the
Oh,
other
yes.
side of the argument.
Honestly,
But-
you do have a
Sorry,
point,
go-
though, that even if it wasn't Richard's fault, this is probably a line that he could have really gone to alter and change, because...
But anyway, unfortunately, that's also the last that you see of the Gabler Goobers. And now it's time to see the horror. The heroes have all been crucified, each one
In the
gears.
gears.
Yeah, in the gears until
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, wait! Oh my god! Oh my god! Chu-Chu was she was over in the side, but they had to slide her model over for a bit.
Guys, Chu-Chu is not in a gear. She can easily escape from that.
Like, okay,
my God,
okay,
Chu-Chu.
like, okay. Question: did they like nail the hands like in Crucifixion?
It's more of a.
Well, that's usually how it is.
No, actually, no. The usual thing was actually using ropes, so the nails were
the
kind of
rope
like
thing.
the exception.
Yeah.
So in this case, it's more symbolic than anything. Unfortunately, in the game, is represented by the models T-posing in front of that.
So, too,
And some of them aren't even
for
properly on
dominance.
the cross either. And yeah, like you said, Chu-Chu could easily escape.
Shitan, can you start singing "Always Look on the Side of Life"? I suppose.
yes. Don't you see, guys? Some things in life are bad. They can sometimes make you sad. So what you have to do is look on the bright side of life.
So, Deji,
Yeah,
what you're
Theo,
saying is Jesus was
Theo,
just T-posing
I'm
the entire
disappointed
time?
that you didn't play that song.
I wanted to play safe. All right.
Elly again.
Back in the theater again.
Mhm.
Elly, turn around. The audience is behind you.
You idiot! Why did you come here?
Because she loves you, dunce.
Krellian's after you. Forget about us. Run and save yourself.
I also like that she spent a lot of time talking about Faye, and it's like, there's other people you need to help too, woman. I came as I was told. I'm the only one you need.
What?
For reference,
He's talking to Krellian, I think.
yeah.
They have nothing to do with this, so let Faye and the others go.
For reference, Yang is in her execution outfit right beside Krellian.
Yeah, I figured.
Ellen, you are, Ellen.
It's
It's as if that scene from the past has been brought back to life in the present.
Oh, we're getting meta now.
Yes. So you came in an Omni gear. That too is her gear.
The gear of Mother
Sophia.
Sophia.
Allow me to confirm something. If you do this, there are no continues, Elly. It's game over. Consider what kind of treatment your friends will receive. On one condition. That
No.
you first defeat these two men here with that gear you came in. How about it?
Sir, this isn't part of the deal.
I'm altering the deal.
Forget
I do not
Elly.
alter it any further.
He's up to something. Don't accept it.
No duh, he's up to something.
Faye is right. Krellian is not a man of his word.
Oh crap, even Cheetan's warning.
And he always has ulterior motives when he sweet talks someone.
Oh, you'll want to talk.
What is more? Can we please focus on the fact that this evil man is trying to kill us now? Please? Their combat skills are immeasurable. They are not opponents you can handle by yourself. Can we please focus on the madman trying to kill us before we talk about that? Do not take him up on his offer.
I don't know,
Except while we
Cheetan.
can.
It might be the last thing we can do.
My, such harsh criticism. I am not that. I'll tell you something. Why will it be, even if it were not to try to flee now, it is not likely you would be able to. You see, I have this whole area surrounded by my guards.
Oh, you thought of everything.
You'll just have to take my word for it.
Well, wouldn't it be logical to take the choice that with a chance, no matter how slight it may be?
Don't do it, Elly.
No, Elly,
Sir,
don't.
I'm trying to think here.
All right, then. I'll do what you say. Not you, Faye, the other guy.
Where's the full stop?
Sometimes
Richard,
Richard forgot
where's the
that
full
too.
stop?
Good. You are indeed my precious little bird. Now get on with it. Now
I'm about to peck your eyes out.
get on with it.
My dude, you got a thing with birds.
And I know what you're thinking. Unfortunately, this, despite being presented kind of like in a combat stance, this is another sequence, but it's just more dialogue. It's kind of a shame. I really wish this was an actual playable fight.
Oh, so wait, they gave Elly an Omni gear
Yeah,
just
for
to
this,
not even let you play with it, just to show up in a cutscene?
If it gives Faye and them even the slightest chance of escape. Also, I like she keeps calling them them. Like,
Hey, and these other guys!
The game is done until this point, yeah.
She's from the hood.
then I will fight. I don't Oh, okay.
Cover life.
Since
Sure.
Theo didn't put the clip.
They're too fast.
Oh no! Look at how they're
Instead of
waving in
clip.
front of me like this!
And it's, well, one enemy here, Mugwort, but also Rattan, the guy that we saw with back with Emeralda under the sea. So it's
Alright,
up to you again, Ledger, when you
There's
show
no clip. How about this, Shira? There's no clip, so I'll just quote Nick from Zootopia. Oh, there's a dam now. So there you go. Well, actually, no. I'll wait till after this.
Outmatched, even in my Omni gear.
This is supposed to be the part when we get awesome!
Well, we're fucked.
So who's gonna save the day?
But I can't just. No, not like this.
Not like this.
What is that guy doing on the right, waving his sword around?
I can't lose.
And then she gets a Super Saiyan transformation.
Well, not exactly, but kinda.
Oh, I was just gonna choke slam it.
Must somehow stop movement.
That may not be possible. Look at how he's jittering like that.
Remember, we mentioned that when he showed up back in the underwater reactor. Also, to answer your question, Dweebs, as you can see, there's a blade, an arm that is kind of similar to a mantis.
I was gonna say, that looks like a mantis.
Yeah.
A
Stop!
psycho mantis.
Now's my chance! Ah! Yeah.
Yeah. If anything, the design of Mugwort, the guy on the right, kind of reminds me a bit of a prototype metal face from Xenoblade. And now she's gonna use an ether attack.
Why didn't we think of that from the start?
It's kind of a finisher as
We hadn't unlocked it yet.
Dude.
Did I do it?
No, I need a closer look.
It seems like it.
No, I have to do the referee count. 1, 2. Actually, no.
Not even close, baby.
Ta fooled you!
How could that? I thought it had some sort of effect.
They were just
Well,
playing with
fuck.
you.
So, looks like you can't beat my guards.
Nanomachines, girl.
Girl, that hurt. I'll get you back. It was wrong of you to underestimate our power.
Don't try it.
You will learn. Sorry. You will bow before me, Snake. I mean, Elly.
You can also tell from this animation they probably had, a fight program in mind and they just couldn't finish it.
Local girl gets curb stomped in battle.
Go ahead, Edge.
You need to step outside a minute.
I'm getting no results. It can't be helped. It's about time to finish the job. Sorry, love.
This is the end.
Well, how is Elly gonna get out of this one?
Resurrect herself 7 days later after dying.
3, Drova.
No. 7 because she's Super Jesus, actually.
Sure.
Yeah, she's gonna die.
Down yet.
Oh,
It's to be expected. Multiple fractures, major bone rod loss.
None of which you can see because she's in a gear.
It's a sea of blood.
That didn't stop Alex from surviving.
Worst death.
That was a true colors joke. That was a true colors joke, by the way.
What the? There's no way he could stand after making that much damage.
Or can she?
Ow! Yeah, literally one shot, Badger.
Mugwort? Why you? How dare you do that to my partner?
How did you do that to my partner? Standing here, I realize. Seriously.
Kinda, a bit. I'm sorry, Rotten, but this is my Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
Oh yeah, you're just like me trying to make history.
Through that one last shot, she manages to pulverize Magwort as well. Sorry, Rattan as well.
So,
But unfortunately, that was the last of her energies.
how did she do that? Was it a sudden strength, resolve of will?
Very for powers. Remember, Elly, kind of like with Faye, Elly has some kind of hidden power that she just, she needs to can activate in under desperation conditions.
Oh.
Why exactly is that? We will discover that as well.
Also, that transition, it faded to black and it faded to white and then black again. Is it loading?
Unfortunately, as you can imagine, this is exactly what Krellian wanted.
Of course, all according to his plan.
No way. Elly!
She's fine. Go walk it off.
A true awakening. Or just merely protecting her master?
So
then again,
you
he's a-
lost
he's-
to
well-
your best friend.
Well, never mind. Never mind.
Was referring to the gear.
Never mind, he's the bad guy anyway. It does not alter what the blah, 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 blah. Now, man, recover that machine. He's the bad guy anyway, so of course he's terrible. Place priority on the safety of the pilot. Use whatever it takes to preserve her life.
Oh, how nice of you.
Well, I need her alive anyway, so. Well then, I shall be taking this girl with me. As for the rest of you, why don't you just wallow there pathetically while you meditate on your own lack of any real power? See, I
Damn.
did. See,
I know the
I
feeling.
Drop the mic.
see, I did do as I promised.
How
Oh, and
nice.
because you mentioned power, Grump shows up at the end too.
Oh.
Pitiful. You
Bye.
can't even protect a single woman.
For like the 6th time.
It isn't even worth the effort of putting a spineless wretch like you out of your misery. I
All right.
You're too weak to finish off.
God just came here to gloat on you. For fuck's sake. Elly was taken away, and as Krellian had told her, we were left alive. Was Krellian just keeping his promise? No, that can't be it. There had to be another real reason why he allowed us to live.
Turns out he wants to
you're all-
further test you because it's all part of his plan for you guys to come and rescue Elly.
And we had to find that out.
Of course, you're of course going to assume that I have some kind of ulterior motive to leave you
Yeah.
alive. It can't just be that I just wanted to be true to my word.
Right. I'm really glad that I'm really glad that I didn't do a Elly gets kidnapped drinking game because I'd be dead by now.
I can tell you this, Dweebs, at the very least in this situation, you got a situation where the party was kidnapped and she had to rescue them. Anyway, today's artwork are Sophia's Omni, the concept for Sophia's Omni gear, which, yes, as you can imagine, was actually considered to be fully playable at some point, And through hacking, you can actually try to access it, but it's glitchy and, it doesn't make the game work properly as intended. And the other is the artwork for Magwort and Rattan, which in the Japanese version are called Kenren and Tenpo with an N. So I guess Richard just wanted to make some other names, I suppose, for these two.
Yeah, about that. Yeah, about that. Like I wanted to finish
ahead.
my argument from earlier. Okay, let me put it this way. First, it's two things. One, this translation was made back in the late '90s. It was a long time ago at this point. We've seen plenty of Richard's other localization, and this has never been an issue in Richard's localizations. Not really. You don't see this in Final Fantasy IX. I don't see this in Final Fantasy VIII. You don't see this in Kuni games or anything like that. So it's not like this is a recurring thing in Richard's localizations or anything. So on the assumption that that line came from him, again, it can also be the other thing, like Jova said, but on the assumption that the line came from him, you can assume that this was just an unfortunate mistake rather than actually something malicious. And second, there's also, again, I joke about it all the time, but the truth of the matter is that, yeah, by this, Richard at some point must have gotten to a point where he wasn't even thinking and just was basically going full autopilot and just translating as fast as he could. So I wouldn't be surprised if most of these lines he put in there without even thinking. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt regarding that line.
Same.
Because the circumstances were just terrible, and like I've said, it's not like this is a reoccurring problem in his stuff. This is like the one time, and trust me, I've seen plenty of Richard's localizations, and this is the one time where he had one line like this. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that this was just an unfortunate anomaly rather than an actual problem.
I will stick to it being about it came from the original script. He could have left that out, but, given how stuff was going, he probably just left that in on a whim, given how he was really trying to just get through this localization as best he could. And yeah, it really doesn't fit his MO. Like, for all the problems I have with his Final Fantasy VIII localization, it never felt like we got a line that cringy in it. So, no, I'm definitely going to give Richard the benefit of the doubt.
In Final Fantasy VIII, we have Renoa emotionally abusing Squall, but you can tell that's from the original script. That's not a localization problem. That's a flat-out script problem.
And like I said, the whole emotional abuse of Squall thing, that is clearly not what the game is trying to go for. It's just that due to the hokey dialogue, it comes off as like that. Like I said, I consider 8 to be a good story.
Well, you can say, Jova, in a case that it's kind of similar in this case, just for different arguments altogether.
Oh, yes, but let's not forget, though, unfortunately with 8, Richard kind of did really botch up the localization. Now, mind you, Square apparently really liked that version of Squall, even though I'd argue the original version of Squall was infinitely better, but hey, I'm not the Square president, so I don't exactly get to call the shots here.
Alright, so that's it for me, though. I'm done.
But yeah, tuning next time, where Faye and the others decide what to do exactly now that Krellian has seized control of Radio Central, and now has Elly to boot. See ya.
See ya.
So yeah.
See ya.
Bye.